Our channel ain't about relationships. Not every day.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's topic is going to be friendships. Friendships.
I done for.
So we're going to be talking about how to maintain godly friendships, the sort of things that make a good friend, and also the things that sort of to look for in, I guess, a bad friend as well. So stick around, stay tuned, grab a coffee or whatever, and we'll be back.
As a Christian woman, it's important that we have good godly friendships as it can affect your walk with Christ and your journey in life. So we came up with 3 key points that will help you maintain a good godly friendship.
So the 3 key points that we have, we've called the 3 A's. So the first one is accountability.
The second one is advice.
The third one is having a good time.
So point number 1, we've got accountability. Now, for me personally, I think this is the most important one. As a Christian woman or man, I don't think you can run the race on your own. I think you need people that sort of walk with you and that tell you where you've gone wrong, people that are not afraid to challenge you. So I would say, in terms of your friends, look out for people that do challenge you. I know in the moment it might seem really annoying. Like sometimes when these guys tell me I've done wrong, I just want to be like, well, who are you to tell me what to do? But it's very beneficial and it stops you from sort of going off. Would you guys agree?
I think, going off Yvonne's point as well, one thing that we have to be careful about is not being prideful, because sometimes when someone corrects us, we're kind of like, well, no, I'm in the right, they're in the wrong, who do they think they are, sort of thing. And sometimes even doing that can cause you to lose out on friendships, because after a while, not gonna lie, I don't want to be around someone who you can't correct, you can't speak to, because it's just negative and annoying to constantly, oh, bro, sis, maybe you shouldn't do this. Oh, but who are you to tell me? Like, we don't have time for that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's a really important factor as well. Especially like, for example, all 3 of us are in relationships. That's another part. We don't want to go into relationships because our channel ain't about relationships. Not every day.
Not every day. Be single. Enjoy it.
But anyways, like even in like relationships, you also need accountability. Like obviously, before I got married to my husband, I was even gonna say his name, but you not need to know. But before I got married, it was kind of like sometimes you want to break certain boundaries, but then it's like having godly friends who kind of be like, yo sis, maybe you shouldn't be chilling with your man at night because it's a bit risky like at night, but stuff like that sort of thing. It's not to, sometimes people may feel like when someone's being accountable to you, they're kind of in your business, but sometimes you kind of need that, because otherwise you end up falling, you end up leaving church or doing backsliding or doing things that you shouldn't be doing, whereas you could have probably thought, if I had this friend to tell me maybe I shouldn't have done that, maybe the outcome would have been different. I do try. So the second point is advice. We've kind of gone into that a little bit, but advice, I'll say it 3 times because it's so important. People can give you good advice and bad advice.
And godly advice.
And godly advice. There's the 3, true. There's the 3. So the good advice is things that maybe your general friends, normal friends can give you, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't spend your money like this because you end up being broke at the end of the month. Then there's the godly advice where it's like, sis, maybe your behavior is a bit ungodly, like the way you're being towards this sister or so is actually quite bad and negative. It's not Christ-like at all. And then someone can come and tell you, oh sis, maybe try approaching the person like this because maybe that's the kind of person they are, sort of thing. And then there's the bad advice. The bad advice, it contradicts the Bible. It will damage your life. It will cause issues that you would never experience if you didn't listen to that person. So bad advice, I'll give you an example. Sleep with that boy who's good looking.
Nigerian. Mixed race.
Marry a Nigerian. And
them. They're not our people then. No.
Anyway, we're joking. But yeah, like certain advice, like for example, maybe it comes to like making a decision that's quite important, like, oh, maybe I'm taking a job, but this job requires me to work these amount of hours, meaning I don't attend church anymore, or I can't do this or stuff like that, where it has an impact on not just your Christianity but your personal life as well.
Yeah.
And then someone tells you go take that job, and then you're constantly working loads of hours, you're unhappy, your relationship with God is gone left, sort of thing. You don't want to take advice like that. And sometimes it may sound good to the ear, like, wow, that actually makes sense, like, yeah, that's deep. But then when you actually pray on it, you actually realize that's very bad advice. Because sometimes people may give you advice. It's not to say that they're bad people, but they might tell you something which they think is good, but then when you actually think about it, actually it's really bad advice. Yeah.
Agreed.
And the third point is
Having a laugh. Having a good time. Sometimes as Christians, we take life too serious.
We agree.
Smile a little bit. Go on, smile. Smile. And just have a good time. Enjoy life. Don't be too serious all the time. Then once, how was your day? Oh, God willing, it was amazing. I prayed, and then no. Just have a good time. Go out. Go holiday. Enjoy your life. Don't do the wrong things. Don't do none of that. Just have a good time.
And off the back of that having a laugh point, I would say that it's important that you do actually have things in common with the people that you're friends with. I know that there's this notion that, you know, you should make friends with people that you don't necessarily have a lot in common with, which is true. But a good friendship, a good foundation of a good friendship, I think, is having things in common, doing things together that you do enjoy, and actually having a laugh, pretty much.
having a laugh.
Having a laugh.
Having a laugh.
I think the other thing is also kind of like stepping out your comfort zone, because sometimes I get too used to these two, but I've got other friends that are not usually my kind of friends that I have, but we still have a good time. Just because I'm around them doesn't mean I don't speak to anyone else, sort of thing. Like, I think sometimes people forget that if you have one friend, that doesn't mean you can't have other friends, because
Say it again.
just because you have one friend does not mean you do not have any other friend, because you end up lonely.
Lonely.
It's true.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody. Anyways, that was already. But yeah, because you end up being alone, sort of thing, and sometimes people look at themselves and they're like, oh well, this friend is not here, so what do I do now?
So I'm not coming, or
Sort of thing. You don't want to end up in a situation where you go to like an event or anything like that, and because your friend didn't turn up, you don't go, because then you're actually hindering yourself from making new friendships and meeting new people. And not only will that affect you now, in the future, when you need to do things, you need to interact with others, you find it quite hard, because it's not easy making friends. Well, personally for me, it kind of is, because you just say hi to somebody and the conversation goes from there. No, being real.
Can we be real?
Can be real.
Can we be real?
That's what we're called anyway, so we're being real here. It's just as simple as being like, hi, how's your day been, sort of thing. And then starting from there and building that friendship. But I'm not saying force a friendship, because there's some people that you will try with and it just doesn't work. They just don't want to be around you. Don't be a big friend, just be a friend for them. If they need support, be there for them, obviously. If they need something, be there for them. However, if they are constantly asking you for favors but they're never there for you, cut them off.
shy.
Simple as that.
I covered most of what we would have included in a sort of a bad friend characteristic, I guess. But we just thought there was a few more things to add. So one specific area that I wanted to talk about was company, and how important it is to make sure that the people that you associate yourself with are good people. Not just good people, godly people. The Bible says to us, which we'll put down here, that bad company corrupts good morals. And God is very intentional with the things that he writes in the Bible. Pretty much we know that if you associate yourself with the right people, they will uplift you. But if you associate yourself with the wrong people, they can really tear you down. You can have people in your life that are good people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good for your walk with God. They might not sort of be going on the same way as you, they might not have the same beliefs as you, Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't be friends with them. But what it does mean is you have to be very careful of how much you allow these people into your space, because you're trying to live a godly life and the people that are your closest friends are on a different journey. They're not going to understand some of the things that you're doing. And it's amazing if you're able to sort of encourage them to lead a godly life, which we are called to do as Christians. But if you feel like they're having more of an impact on you than you are on them, then I would suggest probably backing away a little bit.
And the second point is unsupportive friends.
Shy.
Unsupportive. Sometimes the reason we may not support our friends is actually because we may have jealousy, hatred and bitterness in our heart without realising that when your friend is doing something good, you don't want to support them, you don't want to be there for them. But then when you are doing something, you expect them to support you and stuff like that. So sometimes that's the things that can hinder and affect our friendships and cause us to be bad friends. So I think sometimes we need to reevaluate, reflect on our actions and actually say, okay, this sister or brother is doing this. Am I being supported? Oh, I haven't seen this sister for a while. Let me call them or let me find out what's going on. Not to be like you wanting to know their business, but just showing like a genuine heart and a love and care for that individual. If you're that kind of person who someone's unwell or whatever, they've gone missing, you don't care about them, you're not trying to be anyone else's friend, you can actually be the bad friend.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, the other camera died. But if you do realise, you know, the points that we have been talking about, if it is you, you know, where you realise that you have got jealousy in your heart, you have got bitterness, you have got unforgiveness, I would just literally just pray to God, repent, just say I'm sorry for feeling this way. Ask God to also help you see what's in your heart, to reveal it to you, because sometimes you're just a bit blind to it, and sometimes you do really know. Sometimes you know you're jealous, but other times you don't know. But just ask God to help you reveal what's in your heart, and repent, turn away from it. And then even if it's things like you don't want to make friends, force yourself to make friends. Go up to someone, say hello, you know, my name's Loretta, nice to meet you, I'm 22, walk away. Even if it's supporting, even if it's that you don't want to support someone, just support them, follow, like, subscribe, just little practical steps like that.
Do the opposite of what you don't want to do.
Yeah, basically, and that will help you.
If it's negative, don't do it. We've come to the end of our video. We hope that you've learned something from our video today, and hopefully you will get your heart right with God and do the right thing. Thanks for watching once again. Comment, like and subscribe to our channel, and see you when we post our next video. Stay tuned. Bye.
See me glowing now. Yes, I shine for the world to see.